Okay, so like I was saying, personal development is something that is a vital behavior for coaches, but I took it for granted. And by took it for granted, I mean like didn't even consider doing any sort of personal development for probably the first year and a half I was a coach. That was the biggest mistake I could have made, because not only did it stunt my progress, like my personal coaching journey, but it also kept me from helping other people and other coaches, because I didn't realize the impact that it would have on my life in general. So I'm going to share a little bit from this book that I've been working through, and I keep coming back to it, and then I want to kind of pose some questions to you guys at the end so you can kind of chime in. But this book is a 12-week year, if you haven't heard of it. It is excellent. It's by Brian P. Morgan. And it really revamps your thinking. Before I talk to you guys about the specific chapter I want to kind of go into. The 12-week year, the entire concept is people do really well with deadlines because we are natural procrastinators. So whenever someone says like, oh, this is the last day you have to do X, Y, or Z, we kind of putz along until the deadline approaches, and then all of a sudden we work our tail off to get it done. So the 12-week year concept is, instead of envisioning your year as 12 months, what if you envisioned a year as 12 weeks? How much more productive could you be? How much more successful could you be if you thought of every 12 weeks, so essentially every 3 months, you're setting huge goals for yourself and you're pushing for through those 12 weeks every, quarter, essentially. So it really is a good book for me because it changes my way of thinking, because I am a procrastinator. So don't know if anyone on this call can relate, but I can certainly relate. So 12-week year, if you have not heard of it, check it out. I'm sure it's at the library if you have a library card, if you don't want to buy your own books. But the chapter I want to talk to you guys about is chapter 6 in this book, and it's called Confronting the Truth. And oddly enough, like I kind of posted about this on social media today, not intentionally knowing that this was the chapter I wanted to talk to you guys about. But the focus here is keeping score of your results. So having some sort of basis to go off of to know if you're successful or not. So when you think about a fitness program, you have certain things that you know when you are hitting benchmarks and making progress, right? You have the scale, you have your nutrition program, you have, your measurements, the way your clothes are fitting, you can measure your energy or your sleep. You have different ways to do that. So in your business, you need to have a way to score yourself to really see how you're doing. And this is super important as a new coach, because you want to make progress in anything that you're doing. But how frustrating is it when you start this new venture, you start coaching and you feel like you're just going nowhere? Well, maybe we're not scoring ourselves the way that we should. So that being said, there are 2 motivators, this book points out. And the 2 motivators where you recognize your progress are in achievement and recognition. So it says that those are the 2 motivators, achievement and recognition. So that being said, we have to have some sort of data to go off of that simply focuses on our outcome. So for example, you think about what you do during the day to reach out to other people, to talk about your challenge groups, or to talk about coaching or whatever. If you don't have some sort of outcome attached, that work is important, but it's not achievement or recognition. So your business scoreboard is 0 unless you're, working toward those 2 things, if that makes sense. So with our business, our 2 main achievement and recognition for Beachbody are your Success Club points and what's called your leadership points. And we don't talk about leadership points a lot, but we should, because I want that to be something that you guys are all working toward, is building teams and becoming leaders. You guys get on these calls, you want to learn, you want to grow your business. We should all know what we're shooting for. So I just want to tie that in a little bit with the National Wake Up Call today. I don't know if you guys listen to that. You can get it on the Beachbody podcast. You can watch it live on Facebook, any of those things. And there was a new coach on there. She has been, the girl that was on there today, her name was Sydney. She's been a coach for a year and a half, maybe, and very successful. And she said that a lot of what she did at the beginning of her business, she just did because she didn't know any differently. So her coach said, this is what you need to do. And she didn't even question how hard that was going to be. She just said, oh, okay, I'll just do that. And it launched her into this huge amount of success. So in terms of, like I said, specifically like our scorecard, keeping track is really important that you have what's called productive tension. Okay, that's how it's defined in here. So this really stood out to me and is the last thing I'm going to really touch on before I kind of give you guys some questions to think about. But productive tension is the uncomfortable feeling you get when you're not doing the things you know you need to do. I'm going to read that again. Productive tension is the uncomfortable feeling you get when you're not doing the things you know you need to do. And that struck a chord with me because I feel like all the time I know what I should be doing in order to be successful, and I just procrastinate. I just don't do it for whatever reason. Either I'm being lazy, or I'm in my own head about it, or I'm worried about what other people are going to think. And it is this, what's called productive tension. So you have to be able to get past that in order to achieve those two motivators, right? Achievement and success. So you have to overcome that productive tension in order to get there. So specifically talking about our Beachbody business and what our achievement recognition looks like. So Success Club is something that we shoot for as coaches every month. That's our scoreboard. So we earn Success Club points by having new coaches join our team when they have 90 personal volume. So that could be a Shakeology order, that could be a challenge pack, that could be performance line, whatever it is. You earn Success Club points that way, 2 of them. You earn Success Club points with any new challenger that you sign up that has a challenge pack, or a brand new Shakeology Home Direct order. So all of those are ways that we can earn Success Club points. And challenge packs in any capacity. It doesn't just have to be Beachbody On Demand and Performance Line, or Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology. So challenge packs in general include Beachbody On Demand plus nutrition. So that could be a 3-day refresh, that could be Shakeology, that could be all 3 of those things. It could be like our mega packs, which have Shakeology and Performance Line and Beachbody On Demand. It could be a plethora of things, but they're all worth 2 Success Club points. So in the life of Beachbody, our achievement is getting those Success Club points to show up in your online office. The recognition portion is when you achieve what's called Success Club, which is hitting Success Club 5 or higher every month. So 5 or 10. And if you get more than that, it's still just called Success Club 10, but you earn more points. So that is the recognition piece when you continually hit those goals. And when you know what you're shooting for and when you set those goals for yourself, it can be easier to say, okay, let me break down the activities that are going to make me productive, the ones that are going to actually move the needle, the ones that are actually going to give me some sort of outcome, right? Not just spinning my wheels, what's going to get me toward that point. So all of that being said, you guys, when you are intentional about hitting specific goals and you know what you're shooting for, you know what your scoreboard is, it can be easier to see that success. I feel like a lot of times when we start out or when we have new coaches on our team, we kind of want to learn as much as we can, which is great. But if we're doing all the learning and none of the application, then we're not moving that needle and we're not working toward our scoreboard, if that makes any sense. So I want to have you guys think about really quick, and if you know right away, you can let me know, and if you need to think about it, totally fine. But I want to hear from you guys. So just thinking about the top 2 motivators. So this book said achievement and recognition, but do you have other things that motivate you to work past that, productive tension? What's going to make you want to keep going? What's going to make you want to work hard or push toward that goal? What are your motivators, I guess? And feel free to jump in. Anybody can pipe up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my motivators are obviously Success Club, but what I really want is to earn the trip that comes around. So the more successful I am throughout the whole year, the more likely I am to be able to earn that trip. So really that's like the big thing. But just in the short term, like I'm just trying to get my summit ticket free. So I have that. So it
Okay, so Heather, tell people how are you going to earn your summit ticket? How does that happen?
So as a new coach, your summit ticket is cheaper than all the other ones. Wow, these headphones suck. Sorry. So it's $145 as a new coach. And if you get Success Club 5 in your first 3 months, then you get your summit ticket for free. So I bought it already, but if I get it, they'll refund my $145. So I'm 2 months in. I only have 1 more month left, which means I only have like 7 days, I think, it is, to get like 2 more or 4 more points. But after that, then that's paid for. So that was my short-term goal, but my long-term goal is the trip. So,
which is awesome. And knowing that, and again, your scorecard, right? So
right.
Heather knows she's got to hit at least SC5 for the first 3 months she's a coach. And if she wants to go on the Success Club trip, I took my dad on the cruise last year, Will and I went to Mexico. If you want to earn that trip, you have to consistently hit Success Club every single month. And again, then your scorecard. So it gives you something to work toward. That's perfect, Heather. I love it. Anyone else have motivators to work hard? There's no right or wrong answer, by the way, everybody.
Hi. Okay, so I'm so new that I don't know all the levels and the points and all that kind of stuff yet. I've kind of gotten a run through and everything, but I don't have a firm, solid goal of where I want to be when it comes to those kind of levels. But because my schedule as a yoga teacher is so all over the place right now, what I'm trying to help get past this productive tension, as you call it, which is so accurate that it drives me crazy that I know exactly that feeling, is to just be able to work in those off hours and be able to have some kind of income where I feel okay, I teach in the morning and then I teach at night, but those days, that time during the day, I want to be able to be productive and I want to be able to be helping people and still make those hours of the day worth it and have some kind of income. So just as a brand new coach, that's where I'm at with it. And I would love for it to just bring something in with my schedule the way that it is, because it's perfect for me to work in those off hours. But yeah.
That's perfect, Katie. And I'm pretty sure you're in our team page. By the way, everyone, if I didn't tell you this, Anna, you'll be excited too, because Anna doesn't do Facebook. But
I'm not on Facebook either.
Okay, we're gonna have our own team YouTube page, and all of our calls will go up there. All of our other upline trainings will be attached on there, so you guys will be able to find all that stuff, which will be great. So that's one of my goals this week. Will is actually going to West Virginia for work, so I get all the time to work. Not that I don't love spending time with him, but that's my goal this week, is to get our whole team YouTube page set up. But
that's awesome. Thank you for that, by the way, for those of us that don't have Facebook.
Yes. Last week's call, Katie, we talked about using the Success Club tracker. So I don't know if you have a copy of that, but I will email a copy to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Because Heather and Courtney, I'm pretty sure you guys looked it up last week on the online office, and it's an old version. So, which I don't know why that is. So I'm going to send you the updated version that Beachbody put on their Facebook page. So I will send that to you, and I think it will help you be productive in those off hours. So you actually know, like, what should I be doing during this time? It'll maximize, you know, what you should do and kind of give you a path.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I put a note.
I really like the Success Club tracker. Like, I've been using it since last week's team call, and like every day I'm like, oh, I think I did that. And then I'll look down and be like, no, I didn't do that. I need to do that. So like, it's really like, it helps me just because I have so much going on every day, like to keep me on track. So it's been good.
Good. I'm glad. And I think it really helps to balance. So wherever you struggle, it kind of points out where you're lacking, which I think is good. Similar to like tracking my nutrition. If I think like, have I had like all my vegetables today? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And then I look on my log, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm 2.5 servings short. Same with this Success Club tracker. You're like, did I, do X, Y, or Z? And then you can just look and see, and it really helps you. But it has all of the productive activities that we should be doing. So I will send that to you. Anyone else want to share something that motivates them to get past that productive tension and actually work toward a goal?
To make Scotties.
Don't feel pressured. But again, no wrong answers. No? All right. So anyway, if you don't have something that comes to mind for your motivators, think about that this week. What is it that's going to push you to do what you need to do to work this business? And if you're stuck on that or you're really not sure, think about what Beachbody uses as our motivators. Achievement, Success Club, okay, and recognition, which is, or Success Club points, and then hitting Success Club. So think about those things. And again, it's not that we want to view the people that we help as numbers. That's completely the opposite of where our team is at and what we're about. But that's our scoreboard for success, if that makes sense. So I don't want to confuse that with you need to be so focused on these numbers. But when we talk about getting our business going, it's good to have some sort of something to shoot for, if that makes sense. Any questions from the crowd? That book, by the way, if you didn't write it down, 12-Week Year, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Anybody else, since we talked about this really quick before we go, anybody have personal development that they're reading or listening to right now that you really like? No? Okay. Well, I can always start this in our thread too on Instagram, so you guys can post some personal development that you have really liked, and then and what you used it for. So if it's for, your mentality or leadership or money or whatever it's for, we can post those in there. So then if you're struggling with one of those things, you can tap into that resource, and I can always send that out to everybody too.
I do have something. So obviously, I like to do podcasts because of being in the car. It's just easier to get it in that way. But obviously, I love Rachel Hollis because she's awesome. But she has a podcast called Rise, and that one's really good if you guys haven't checked that out. But then and I know Kelsey does too because I got this from her, but the Quote of the Day show, they always have like really interesting speakers on all the time. So Some of them I'm just like, this one's not for me, but most of them are really good, and they're really short, and then they also usually lead you to like their like YouTube or something video. So if you're really interested in it, you can like continue to watch the longer version or whatever on YouTube. So that's that.
That is awesome, Heather. I have another one that I've been listening to recently, and she's actually one of my girlfriends from college. She's also a Beachbody coach, super successful. We met because we were both in the education program. She quit teaching maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. She's been an elite coach, so that means she's in the top 200 of the company for the last 3 years in a row. I mean, she's very successful. So she has a podcast. It's not really business related. It's just like life motivational related. And it is called Rewritten. And her name is Julianne Condia, Condia. But her podcast is called Rewritten. And it is excellent. But on hers, I will tell you, she doesn't do the editing and posting of the podcast herself. Another like media company does that. So you got to skip through like the first minute and a half because it's all like the media company. I just don't want you guys to listen to it and be like, what the heck is this? It's like ads and stuff at the beginning. And then her podcast starts like a minute 15, minute 30 in, but it's very good. So you guys can go in and check out that library as well. Okay. Anything else before we go? Life related. I need to stop this recording.